One of the main stories we've been following this week, schools are reopening and the Free State is grappling with overcrowding. Premier Sisi Ntombela and Education MEC Tate Makgoe briefed the media earlier on some challenges in the province. Let's get more on this. We crossed our reporter Palesa Moeti in Bloemfontein. A very good afternoon to you, Palesa. 373 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the Free State, 9 deaths. What's local government saying are the biggest challenges being faced in that province?
Well, at this point, the biggest challenges that are faced in this province is mainly the issue of water provision. As we heard from the MEC of Education during his briefing about the readiness of schools, only 2 schools in this province were not able to open their doors yesterday because of various issues, not necessarily the water challenge. The water issue is a general problem here in the Free State because, as we know that, when in terms of COVID-19, people need to be washing their hands regularly. That has come up very clear that it is a challenge. It's a standing challenge in this province. But to talk about education in particular and the challenges in this sector, joining us right now is the MEC for Education, Tate Makgoe. MEC, only 2 schools were unable to open their doors yesterday, but not necessarily because of water. Let's talk about what happened at these 2 schools.
Yes, no, thank you very much. I think we opened up very well yesterday. We were very, very excited about it. Many learners and teachers went to schools. Our communities, there was a lot of support, overall support. And of course, you can't find a situation where there are no challenges. And indeed, we had 2 challenges. One school here in Mangaung, it was a school during the time, I think a week or 2 ago, one of the admin person was found to have COVID-19. And then because she had interacted with the teachers, we had to quarantine all the teachers and get them tested. So we are very, very happy that the teachers are back. They are fine. They don't have COVID. So the school will open the next 2 days. Tomorrow, right? And then there's another school in Kroonstad where the municipality was still busy with the sewer system just behind the school. And therefore, the learners could not access the toilet facilities. And therefore, because of that, we then agreed that the learners must also allow the municipality to finish that process, and then they can actually come tomorrow. So we are up and running, and we are excited about it.
Now, MEC, learner transport has been a long-standing challenge for the Free State.
Yes.
Is what's happening in that sector now?
Well, learner transport is a problem. We tried as a province to build as many hostels as possible to try and eliminate learner transport, but the problem persists. And one of the difficulties was that learner transport was then moved some years ago to the Departments of Roads and Transport, and then it became a very big problem. And I think last year then we agreed that it must come back to the province, right? So we have not finalized the appointments, but what has happened now, just for this period of allowing children to go to school, the contractors who have been working in that space have been given 1 more month just to transport those kids. But we hope to be able to finalize it within this month. And then we must also say that thank the Department of Roads and Transport because they've been responsible for sanitizing those transports. So they are ready and they've been taking our children. So we think that we will solve that learner transport permanently because we need to relook at the routes that they are using. We need to relook at the thing that once you build more hostels, why are we not having a reduction on the number of learners that are using this transport? So there may be some things that we need to look at that are not going the right way, but we'll get it right.
Now, you also mentioned that now during this period of COVID-19, psychosocial support for learners is more important than ever before. With the 52 social workers that you mentioned have been appointed, just take us through how significant their work is going to be now.
Well, it's going to be extremely important. Remember, social workers, I always remind people that a school represents the community. What you see in the school is what happens in the communities. So what we have done this time is to say, look, if there's a death because of coronavirus, children are going to be traumatized. If there's a teacher that gets affected, children are going to be traumatized. If learners themselves get affected, they are going to be traumatized. So we want some professionals who would be able to look at this and say, counsel these kids and make sure that they are ready. But also there's a lot of misinformation about coronavirus in the social media, in the public, and so on. So we want professionals who will be associated with schools so that if a learner has got problems, they know that they can go and talk to a particular professional. So this is going to help us a lot. But I must also add that somebody raised yesterday to me that after this long lockout, things may have happened to our children at home. And therefore, some of them may be carrying scars that they are afraid to talk about. So these social workers, when they come here at schools, will be able to interact with these learners at professional level and be able to understand what went wrong and then be able to make sure that now, if there's anything that has gone wrong, if there's criminality that has happened, perpetrators must be followed up. But besides that, we always need social workers in schools because educational psychologists, they have to decide subjects, they have to know what needs to be done, we have to know learners don't learn the same. So there's a lot of support that the social workers would be able to do. So 52 of them, each one per circuit. We've got 52 circuits in the Free State, and therefore we're going to allocate each one in every circuit.
And then let's talk about the issue of the number of teachers. Obviously now there's the concern that there will be teachers that might be needing to not be at work because of comorbidity issues. Do you have those figures already? What are the plans in place?
Yes, we know that we have got a couple of applications, teachers who have applied. But you must also say that there are teachers who have some of those comorbidities, but who are still functional. So we will actually be looking closely at that to see that teachers really want to have leave or to want to work from home should actually be the ones who deserve to work from home. Because indeed, we don't want the school to be infection area. We don't want schools to be area where the health of the people is going to be compromised. So we will look at that. We don't have the numbers, all of them yet, because they were starting to apply from last week, Thursday, and some of applications were still coming in this morning. So give us some time to know how many there are, how many are we going to accept, how many are we not going to accept. But there will be a communication between the teacher and the department to say, but chief man, please man, you see that it's not that bad. So, but we will err on the side of caution so that we don't actually put anybody's life at risk.
And then lastly, MEC, to what extent did parents and school governing bodies really assist to get schools ready? We know that the schools were literally, parents were the ones that were doing the cleaning. So to what extent?
Yes, no, definitely. What we did, remember we wanted to appoint contractors to help us deep clean. And then we realized that, no, man, this is not going to work, right? It was a mammoth task. It was so expensive. And we called the SGB councils and we said, we've got this problem. There's no coronavirus at schools. We just need deep cleaning. So can SGBs lead us in this program? Can you go out in your own schools, appoint people? And luckily, there's a lot of people who are always volunteering at schools. So appoint those people so that they can help us deep clean and make sure that now schools are ready for the 8th. And indeed, they have done that. And we are very, very excited that even where you went as SABC, when you went back, and I must really respect you for showing that, because other media platforms would have seen this and continue to run with this one. This time, you saw what was wrong, you went back to see that there has been an improvement. So thank you for that, and thank you to all our parents in the Free State, all the supporters. And we have said to them, look, this is a new terrain. There may be challenges. There are going to be challenges. But when challenges come, we must be prepared to solve them and not blame each other. Because our children are better in schools. I still believe that. Our children are safer in schools. Children will be tested in the morning when they arrive at school. Children will be tested before they go home. Children will be given food. Children will be screened. So that whole process is not happening now when the children are not at school. So when they are here, they will be safe. They will be attended by health professionals. We have heard that we have linked our schools to health centers, to professional nurses, to social workers, and all those services will be there to support our learners who are the national asset of South Africa. And therefore, no MEC, no minister wants a child to die in school. No one. I don't want a child to die in school. We want them to be safe. But at the same time, we know that they are safer at school compared to where they would be.
Thank you very much. That is MEC Tate Makgoe for the Department of Education here in the Free State, just commending parents for assisting the department to get schools ready, and also just promising parents that their children will be safe because of the daily screening and just making sure that the children are still safe and healthy. But with that, it's back to you in studio.
Palesa Moeti coming to us from the Free State there.